Evening, welcome to the Derby debrief from RamsTV. Owen and Bradley with former Derby captain Sean Barker alongside, here to bring you some reaction from Fratton Park tonight. A 2-2 draw between Derby and League One leaders Portsmouth. A thrilling game that saw Derby take the lead twice through Joe Ward, but twice pegged back by the home side, Abu Kamara in the first half. Owen Moxon, the substitute, in the second, means the points are shared. Maybe a result that suits both teams, truth be told. It extends Derby's lead over Bolton in third place to 4 points. We'll show you the table before the end of the programme and bring you reaction from down on the south coast. Let's start with a word or two from Sean. Sum up that 90 minutes for us.
There's a lot to talk about. First off, it was a great performance and it was a great point. You're playing against the best team in the league consistently over the course of the season. They're always in a game. They never lose by big margins. They're always competitive. We took the lead twice, and at one stage it looked like we might come away with all three. But I think both managers, both teams, both sets of fans would be happy enough with a point. So there were moments that there were, it was end to end at times. There were duels competing. There was chances. It had a bit of everything, and I think it showed why those are the two teams that are at the top of the table.
Just talking before we came on, I got the sense it suited both teams, especially after Portsmouth got their equaliser in the second half. They immediately dropped off just that little bit more. Do you think that maybe crept in for both sides?
I don't think either side were necessarily going for the point. I think both were trying to get the 3 points, but there was not a huge amount to differentiate between the two teams in terms of chances. There weren't too many chances. Portsmouth edged it, but you almost gave up possession and surrendered possession at times, waiting for those counters. And when you got the second goal, you just wondered whether or not Derby would have enough to see it over the line and get all 3 points. We've seen it happen numerous times this season, but unfortunately you're playing against the best team, so you were not surprised when they got their second goal, and it was a wonderful goal as well. So with the last 10 minutes or so, you kind of felt that everyone was going to be happy, everyone was content. It was a big point for both teams, and I just thought coming away from Portsmouth after such a positive result, getting another point adds that little bit of pressure to Bolton and the teams below us. So I'm delighted with everything I saw this evening. It could have been 3, but ultimately you go away with a point and you move on to the next game.
Bolton, of course, play on Saturday. Derby don't, but tonight's result means that Derby will still be second when they next play against Wycombe a week on Wednesday. Let's bring you some reaction from Fratton Park before we get more from Sean. Here's Derby's head coach on tonight's game, Paul Warne.
Yeah, really proud, really. I thought the lads were excellent. We asked them to play in a way where, the 9 and 10 drop in, make it awkward, don't let them get it to their midfielders. The midfielders had a job. The 7 comes in, Wardy comes in, and that was our shape. But we knew when we won the ball back, because the Ogilvie goes really high and wide onto Kane, that was the pass out, and we obviously scored 2 goals from it. So credit to the analysts and Rich and Hammy and that, who coached the lads and try and find a weakness. I thought overall our performance was pretty good away from home. Like, the place was bouncing, obviously, and it was like, don't forget, this is third tier football. I mean, this is a joke. This amount of people turn up to watch third tier. So generally, I was really proud of the performance. Like, there's a lot of effort gone into it, a lot of out of possession stuff, a lot of hard work. I was just disappointed that we dropped 2 points from a 30-yard scream. I felt like it got to the stage where they sort of ran out of ideas a little bit. A lot of balls in behind, kept running out for goal kicks. The lads defended the box really well, and we always looked dangerous on the counter. Like, Nat was excellent on the counter. Colo worked really hard, considering how long he's been out for us. Massive respect for him. But Blackett-Taylor as well was a constant threat, and a couple of times on the counters, if it had fallen a bit nicer, we might have got the third elusive goal, which would have maybe done enough to win it. But nothing but pride, and like, that point could be massive come the end.
I suppose that's the key there. You say that it could end up being hugely important for you, and I don't think many teams will come here to Portsmouth, Fratton Park and put in a performance like that and give them the problems that you did. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, especially at this time of year, because if it was the other way around, if we were at Pride Park and we were 5 points clear of Pompey, like, you play with a bit more, not confidence, but a bit more, maybe confidence, maybe arrogance, to be fair. So, like, we've come here, we've had to, I mean, I still think the first goal's offside, but when you're away from home, you maybe not get them decisions. So, all in all, I'm pleased. But, if we were losing 2-1 and we got a draw, it'd be, wow, what a point. When you're winning 2-1 and you feel like the game's just running out of steam, they'd made their changes, I felt like we would ride the storm, but unfortunately not to be. But it doesn't take anything away from how much effort everyone's put in.
2 goals for Joe Ward tonight. He's had to wait a long time for his first Derby goals, and then he gets 2 in one night. A lovely first goal as well. Great work by Corey Blackett-Taylor, and then the second one, yes, it took a deflection, but he's took the shot on.
Yeah, well, we said to the lads before the game, it's definitely a night to shoot, and to shoot low, because it skids off the ground. The disappointing thing for me is that's his first goal. That's a mug I'm going to have to buy in the same pay month that I had to buy Eves one, so that's 14 quid straight out of Warne Bank. So that's a disappointing thing, but really pleased for him. His performance was excellent, really disciplined, like Ward. He's got, I don't think until recently the Derby fans really saw the best of Wardy, but in the last few weeks I think you can see it, like Kane behind him as well. Those two between them are like absolute double trouble. So really pleased for him to score goals, because, you know, we asked him to do a lot of work today out of possession and keep tucking in, and yeah, and it's testament to how well they've been coached this week and how well they took the information on us. All right, being coached, but if you decide to play your own way when you go out there, it's absolutely reckless. So the fact they took the instructions on really, really pleases me.
What were the conditions like from being up close to the pitch? Because there was a point in the first half where it didn't feel like the water was going away at all.
No, well, well, 2 things really. I think if it wasn't on telly, I don't think it was under any doubt. But in fairness to Portsmouth, the pitch is immaculate. So it's so solid with grass. If it wasn't solid with grass, and like some of the other League One pitches, this wouldn't have been playable. My only disappointment was every time Corey looked dangerous, he took on a puddle and lost it. Like, you know, I lost him from like knee below. So that weren't great for us because we were in dangerous areas. But it was, you know, the wind was swirly, it was but it's the same for both teams really. So I'm not being precious about our lads can only play when it's sunny and 22 degrees, but it did make it probably, there was a few tackles, a few, you know, probably a bit more lively than normal.
You happy with the 4 points you picked up then from these 2 games over Easter? Because you said the other day that minimum 3, you've got 4 now.
Well, we've given more than I expected. No, obviously we wanted 6, but if you'd have said to me prior to, you know, going into it, Blackpool's 3, especially, let's not kid ourselves, off the back of Northampton, which still gripes me. But if you said to me we got 4 points from Blackpool at home and you know, Pompey away, of course I'd have took it. It's just that we looked pretty solid tonight, so it's just disappointing we didn't take all 3. But like I said, it isn't through a lack of effort. If you know, sometimes if it's written in the stars that they're going to score a 30-yard screamer in near the top corner, then that's what it is. So yeah, 4 points is good, but it's only good if you back it up. If you go to Wickham and you don't pick anything up, this point looks worse, if that makes sense. Yeah. If you back it up with 3 points at Wickham, which is a big arse, by the way, this point could be the point that, you know, defines you. So, but points are so hard to come by, hence why it's disappointing when you don't take any points at a Northampton or you drop 2 points at home to Wickham. Like, points are, goodness me, the lads put so much effort in for 1 point, but 1 point is still impressive at this time of the season in this sort of pressure.
And just lastly, I know we joked at Charlton that we always talk about the fans afterwards, but you had 2,000 fans coming down on a Tuesday night for an 8 o'clock kick-off, and the Portsmouth fans...
There's a few points, yeah.
Portsmouth fans played their part as well. It just felt like a proper game.
I mean, like, football is theatre, by the way. People, like, I know it's a sport, but people turn up to think, right, what am I going to see? And the fans play a massive part in that theatre. Sometimes when we watch the opposition of teams, and you watch it and think there's no one there, it looks horrific. So fans make it. But what was good about tonight was, I mean, in fairness to the fans who turned up in this weather must have thought, wow, there's other places I could be. I could be at home warm watching it on TV, to be fair. But there was flags, weren't there? Yeah. Flags, the flags coming out of nowhere. This is good. Love a flag. So if you bought a flag today, you are 10% part of our point. So thank you very much. But yeah, appreciate the fans. I'd appreciate the fans as well staying to the end. And like the ones who know football really well will know how hard the lads worked and respectfully clap the lads off. So I get their disappointment not getting all 3. No one's more disappointed than me and my staff and the team. But you know, a good point against a good team with a good performance. So we can build on that. And I say this all the time, but there could be 7 games left yet. So we've just got, you know, not get too high, not get too low. Point straight down the middle, isn't it? So happy days.
Paul Warne, that man loves a flag, and pretty happy by sounds of things with the point that he got tonight, Sean.
Yeah, he knows how tough a place Fratton Park is to go and get a result. They've only lost twice there this season. They're sitting top of the league. They're in unbelievable form. So to go and get 3 points was a tough ask. They've got themselves in front, and they looked like they might do it, but ultimately I think Portsmouth deserved a point out of it, and I think we did too. So an away performance, getting 2 goals, great to see Wardy get a couple of goals himself. I think there'll be lots of happy faces in the dressing room and on the coach back, because it's a long journey.
It certainly is. What a night for Joe Ward to get his first derby goals. Fortunate with the second. Brilliant finish for the first, I think, hard through the goalkeeper's legs. And as Paul Warne was saying, and we've talked about before, start of his derby career disrupted by injury, maybe struggled to get back into the side. But over the last few weeks, we have started to see really what he's about.
We've had glimpses. We've had moments of quality from him, especially from dead ball situations. We've also seen him play in different positions and not quite find that perfect role for him. Obviously, Paul originally wanted that 3-5-2. He wanted Wardy to play in that wing-back position. The back three at times has worked, and other times it's looked a little shy of what we hoped and probably what Paul expected to see. The way that he's played just behind Kane Wilson, just ahead of Kane Wilson, has allowed him to come inside the pitch a little bit, has allowed to find those little spaces in around the edge of the box, which is where he obviously got his goal. He's got energy, he's got athleticism, he can bomb forward and recover back. He was asked to do a job out of possession today, which helped the team. But there's just a nice balance with Wilson being able to go on the overlap and drive forward with the ball, and Wardy pick up different positions on the pitch rather than just being in that wide right position, and an area that we often see him in. So a couple of moments of magic, good finishes. The second one is just about being in the right position to take the shot on. It deflected, but it doesn't matter. It was nice to see him get a couple of goals.
Just to go back to the first goal for a moment, Corey Blackett-Taylor, another player who sort of struggled to get going in the Derby shirt, and I think injuries might have had something to do with that. Did we see tonight more of the player that Paul Warne saw and everyone saw at Charlton first half of the season?
Yeah, well, I thought we saw enough at Blackpool to get a little excited to see the real Corey Blackett-Taylor. We've mentioned before some players find it a little bit more difficult to find the rhythm at new clubs, whether that's through injury, whether it's just through settling, whether it's being consistent with your performances. But I thought today there was 2 or 3 moments where his pace was electric, his ability to get past the player, especially in the tight areas, was really bright. And of course it was him that set up the goal for Wardy's first. So just having the ability to step inside, drive forward, his pace to get past 3 or 4 players was something special. So yes, we're seeing him kind of come to the fray now in terms of the performances we're looking at. We're looking at Wardy putting in performances, Kane Wilson in the deeper position putting in performances. So all in all, we're hitting form at the right time for certain players. And when Mendes-Lang hasn't got the goals, we're looking for others to step forward. And Corey Blackett-Taylor, in the first half of the season, got his assists, got his goals. Can he help Mendes-Lang from now until the end of the season? Unfortunately
for Derby, those 2 goals from Joe Ward, not enough to win the game. Abu Kamara equalises in the first half. Lovely, well-worked goal, I think it has to be said. And then Owen Moxon second. First look, I think you may be questioning the goalkeeper on that second goal, but you're not so sure?
Well, it's a tough one because as a defender, as a player out there, because it's in Joe's reach, because he's not left the ground to go into the far corner to make the save, I would look at Joe. From Joe's point of view, the ball swerves. It's a vicious shot that drives quickly and then finds that far corner. I think it just catches Joe out. Whether the conditions, whether they're just the swerve on the ball, all affected that. I think it's probably one that he'd look back and work out what he could have done to maybe got more of a hand to keep it away. But it was a brilliant strike and one worthy of getting a point for Portsmouth. The first one, there's not too many times where I would have liked a little bit more from Cash and a little bit more from Nels. Cash stuck a leg out, too eager to win it. Nels probably could have put the brakes on a little bit before, but Kamara's kind of ability to put through the legs of Nelson and then have the composure to finish at the front post was something special. So 2 very good goals from Portsmouth's perspective. And, you know, you're playing against the top of the league that have that quality. So it's one that you just have to take on the chin.
They had 70% possession tonight, Portsmouth, which is a big number, obviously. But aside from the goals, Christian Sadie has a chance toward the end of the first half where he should probably do better. I think Wildsmith makes 1 save at his front post. How highly do you rate sort of the tactical setup tonight and the way Derby played to contain them? Because they're the side that led twice in this game.
Yeah, it was tactically spot on. I think work out of possession was to stop the two midfielders dictating the play. We had Evans and Pack, and Pack's a wonderful player. He can dictate, he can switch the play, he can find the pass through into feet, into the little half spaces. So we were trying to stop that. We were that little bit deeper again, like we saw against Blackpool, trying to restrict the space in behind and in front. And we know that we've got players that can counter with pace and counter with quality. We've seen it time and time again this season, and I think you only really appreciate it when you get a result. You know, when you come away, if you come away with nothing today, you go, well, why didn't we press a bit more aggressively? Why didn't we try and have control of the ball? But why are you picking up such positive results away from home? You can't argue with it. And today I thought they limited Portsmouth to 2 or 3 good chances. That's it. And I think over the course of the season, Portsmouth had numerous chances, got late goals, scored goals of different quality, and yeah, we restricted them to just a few. And I think in terms of what you asked of the players and what you asked out of possession, they couldn't have done any more.
Let's bring you some more reaction from Fratton Park. We can hear from tonight's player of the match, the goal scorer, Joe Ward.
Yeah, very good point, to be fair. You know, we came here wanting the 3 points, but you know, it was a tough game. They scored late on, so yeah, we'll take the point.
The performance on the whole, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I thought we did very well. You know, we came here to you know, take out our game plan, and we did well. We did the things that, you know, we worked on in training, exploited, you know, their weaknesses, and yeah, overall it was a good performance.
Did you work on that striking training, that move for your first goal?
Yeah, to be fair, I've scored a few of them over the years, and that sort of position. So yeah, we knew there was going to be space in that area. So it was just a case of, you know, getting the pass and getting in that area and then taking the opportunity.
How sweet did it feel to net your first for Derby County?
Yeah, very good. You know, I've been waiting a little while for the first goal, so it was. You know, a few of the lads were saying, "Oh, you can score tonight" and all that. So yeah, I felt good going into the game, and I felt like I was going to score. So, you know, yeah, scoring felt great, and getting a point was obviously good as well.
The old cliche about buses, isn't it? You wait ages for one to come, then 2 come at once. Could you believe your luck when that second one found the bottom corner?
Nah, to be fair, you know, I got in a good area, and you know, I don't turn down a shot. So took the shot, and luckily got a little deflection, but went in. So then I was hoping to get my hat trick, but yeah, it's good to get 2 goals. You know, it's good to score all the time, and ultimately get a point.
Is that something that's worked on, taking shots from distance? Because like you saw today, a little knock and you never know where it might end up.
I think definitely, yeah, the gaffer goes on about all the time, you know, getting the shots off and that, and especially in these conditions, it just zips off the grass. So yeah, if you don't shoot, you don't score. So
talk to me about these conditions and this atmosphere and the environment tonight. It really was a cracking advert for League One football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a crazy game. It was raining so hard. Pitch was boggy. You know, some passes were just bouncing out of play, zipping off the grass, and some were just holding up. So sometimes we just had to go a little bit longer and play the conditions. But yeah, it was a difficult game.
The conditions sort of add to the unpredictability of the game and really improve sort of the spectacle of it in a way.
Definitely, yeah. You know, we just had to play, like I say, play the conditions a bit, and at times go a bit longer and hook things on and stuff. But yeah, it was a tough game, and I'm glad we got a point.
Yeah, points big. It keeps things in your hands for the rest of the season with 4 games to go. How quickly does focus move on to Wycombe now?
Yeah, it'll be straight away. This game's gone. You know, a little bit of rest, but ultimately the next game is massive, and we'll look to go and get 3 points.
Yeah, what's the mood like in now? I'm sure having things back in your hands, making sure it is staying that way, everyone's probably in very good spirits in there.
Very good spirits, yeah. You know, it just keeps us going. You know, keeps us motivated, and yeah, you know, we'll look to get back into training. And look to just keep rolling on and picking up points to try and get the promotion.
We spoke about these fans before that travel with you up and down the country, live on Sky Sports. They've still come and sold out that away end, even on a horrible night. Just a word on them?
Unbelievable, yeah. Like home games, unbelievable. Away games, unbelievable. All the time, you know. They're going to be massive for us going forward for the next few games. So yeah, appreciate their support, and hopefully we can get them what they want at the end of the season.
Joe Ward there, off the mark in the black and white tonight. 2 goals for Derby in the draw at Portsmouth. Important point for the Rams after results yesterday. Bolton winning 5-2, Aaron Collins got a hat-trick in the victory over Reading. Barnsley won as well. Peterborough winning at Leyton Orient to stay in the mix. So the sides immediately behind Derby all got victory. So did Lincoln, actually, to stay in the playoff places. What a run they are on. So the top of the table, top two at least, as you were, 5 points between Portsmouth and Derby. The leaders have a game in hand on the Rams. So do Bolton, but they're 4 points behind Peterborough and Barnsley further back with that extra game in hand on the Rams, but it is in Derby's hands with 4 games to go. Lincoln, as you see, in the playoff places. They're at the bottom if you're interested. Burton looking vulnerable. Port Vale and Cheltenham both have games in hand on them. That's all from us for now. If you want more reaction to today's game, it'll be on the website, dcfc.co.uk. No game on Saturday for the Rams. We're back Wednesday instead. The game you can watch on RamsTV worldwide, including in the UK. So do join us for that one. But for now, from me, Barks, and the team, good night, goodbye.